Hi.
Well, hi there, Amanda.
Take two.
Take two. It's fine.
It's fine.
Whatever.
It's whatever. I feel like it's been a while since recording like an actual
real episode.
Mm-hmm.
A for real topic episode instead of just a bullshit. So
yeah, like an adult-sode. Like we're actually being adults this time.
Yeah, like we're actually doing our jobs for once today. It's conversational, but it's conversation with a purpose instead of just conversation for the sake of conversation.
Or like just us bitching the entire
just
time.
Just us bitching about our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you don't know what you're listening to right now, hi, welcome to the Neurodivergent Convergence Podcast. We're two neurodivergent podcast. I can't say my own goddamn intro. We're two neurodivergent best friends traveling the neuroverse together because we are living in a neurotypical world and we are not neurotypical girls. I'm Nikki, and that's Amanda. Say hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And I nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Nailed that intro. Yay, claps for me. Nailed it. So we get a Tenzin.
Like it.
If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. What a good month to be tuning in for the first time. It is Autism Acceptance Month, the month of April. We're 9 days in. We would have done an episode earlier on this, but we had some other shenanigans planned. So, welcome. We talk about neurodivergent shit and our experience with neurodivergent shit. And sometimes not neurodivergent shit, just our life and what things, things that are going on from the purview of two neurodivergent women, because that's what we are. So welcome. Let's get into it. How we run this shit is we start our show with a little bit of fun. We have the creamy middle goodness that is the content, and then we have the ending fuckery. If you do not want to stick around for the ending fuckery, we will let you know when that is beginning, and we will send you upon your way if you do not wish to stay for the fuckery.
We'll give you an out.
We will give you an out. Yep, there will be cues when it is your time to leave so that you will not be stuck listening to shit you don't care about. So, with that being said, let's get started. Do we have anything to catch up on? Do you want to chat or do you want to just hit the Mad Lib?
Well, I mean, yesterday we had an eclipse, so that's pretty big. Total eclipse.
Yeah.
I live in the, like, if you look at like a map of like search the crossroads of the 2017 and the 2024 like North American eclipses, like that's where I live. So I got to see it both times. First time in 2017, I had the day off, and so I kind of just watched it from my yard. But I could hear there's like a university about 3 miles away from my house. I could hear people cheering from university, and it was amazing. This one was even better because I was at work, but we closed down for about 30 minutes, so we could all watch it. And so I was with all my coworkers, and there's businesses around, and you can hear like the whole town like cheering. And we had some. Last time we had like a physicist here. I know this time we had like Good Morning America, like NASA, and PBS and all them. They were here, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But so, and what's weird is that, and this is not only just me, like the eclipse made me tired, and I'm not sure if it's because like staring into the sun, like granted with glasses on, like because if you're out in the sun a lot, you will get tired. But and I was like I said, I'm not the only one that this happened to. Everyone's like, anyone just feel drained from the eclipse? I go, yeah. Like I went to bed before 11 p.m.
Holy shit.
I got 8 solid hours of sleep.
Damn, girl.
That's like 2 times as much as I normally get.
I know. Yeah. I was absolutely fucking exhausted after that. I watched it and then promptly passed out for 3.5 hours. I woke up at 7 p.m. So
yeah, I got absolutely no work done.
I'm not a napper.
Like after the eclipse.
You know this.
Yeah, I got like not a napper. I got no work done after the eclipse. Like I was like looking at all the pictures people were posting and the videos and talking to other people. Like, how cool is that? So, and this one we had like the perfect clear day. I feel bad for people who either had cloudy days or like some places. I was like, there's some groups I'm on Facebook that it was raining where they are. I'm like, we're having rain the next 3 days, so it just happened perfectly here. Like there's like slight haze, like, you know, in the peripheral of the sky, but there was like nothing over the eclipse, which was amazing. So we really lucked out.
Yeah.
And also, the rapture didn't happen. I was promised a rapture. So
I'm still here, damn it.
I'm still here. Damn. It's like, well, I don't know. Will I be raptured? I don't know. Who knows? But like I said, this is like my 15th rapture. I'm due a free pizza from Papa John's or something at this point. I don't know.
I know.
So.
This is what, number
I need a punch card.
3175 unprecedented event in our millennial history.
It's like I need a punch card for all these events that I've lived through, and I deserve
For
something.
real.
I don't know.
Yeah. Mark safe from yet another unprecedented event in our lifetime.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, that eclipse, listen, as the woo-woo person, I feel as though I've failed myself by not purchasing glasses. So I literally, children, don't try this at home. I literally put 5 pair of sunglasses on. I did this. It just like caught tiny little glimpses of
Was it totality there?
No. Got totality. We were not. We got
most of it.
Yeah. So if this is your circle, right? We saw about that. So to the left here, or whatever
so
direction.
It's still bright.
We got this. Yeah.
Yeah. Because for us, totality, like, it looked like legit sunset. Like it was so crazy. So like all the like parking lot lights came on, like at the grocery store across the street, like the business across from ours, like parking lots came on. It looked like sunset. And I had taken a picture of this couple that there's like a grassy hill across from my work. And so they were set up with like lawn chairs, and I was taking a picture of the sunset, and they just happened to have their silhouette there. And so like after it was all done, I offered to give them like, oh, hey, do you want me to send you this picture? And they're like, oh, sure, we'd really appreciate it. And they asked me to take their picture of like their shirts that they were wearing. They were really cute. They're like an older couple, like in their 50s or something. And so I sent it to them, and I said, he gave me like a non-local area code. I'm like, oh, are you local? I see your Illinois plates. He goes, oh, we're about 4 hours away. You're like from Peoria. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they just made a day of it, I guess. Traffic was a lot worse this morning than it was yesterday. Like, not only because school was out yesterday for the eclipse. So I had to deal with school traffic and all the out of towners going back home, because like when I was trying to pull out of my neighborhood, it's like a 50-mile-an-hour road, and I could see all these people coming. It's like I live on the edge of like a state park, and so I could see all these people coming with like out of town plates. Like they were obviously like staying like in and around the park for the eclipse, and I'm like, God, I wasn't expecting this many people.
Yeah. Yeah, you were right in the path of totality, like right in it. And I'm a little too northeast to have gotten the full totality,
100%.
but you know, had I planned this better, I might have showed up at your house to come watch it with you. But alas, I failed in the woo-woo department this time around. But anyway, like I was saying, that eclipse energy is also partnered with a new moon. So it was completely dark moon anyway. And I always get really tired during a new moon. Like I have zero energy because I feel like I'm very like influenced physically by the moon and its phases. I always have been, even before I was woo-woo. I just when the moon is full, I can't sleep. I'm up all hours of the night. Just
the sky's awake, so I'm awake.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like Anna. But when the sky is asleep, this bitch sleep too. So I passed right the fuck out. So you have eclipse energy and you have full moon or new moon energy, which is like good fucking night. So I took the best nap ever. It was the best nap ever. So yeah, but that's really all I have to say. I totally dropped the ball on the woo-woo shit during the eclipse, but it's fine.
I had bought glasses like the week before. Like our work gave us glasses, like a shirt and glasses, like last week, but I'd already bought.
Yeah.
I was at the grocery store like the week before, and I was like, oh, and they had like a little stand of glasses, and I must have been one of the first ones to buy them because they're like glasses stand was like completely full, and I know like everywhere was sold out by yesterday, the day before. So
Yeah.
I just was like, oh, I'll buy these, and then work was like, here's 2 free pairs. I'm like, oh, cool, and so I gave those to my mom and dad, and I kept the ones that I bought because I feel like they were nicer, but
Yeah.
so. As you know, I'm an over preparer. So,
Yes.
mhm.
And I'm very underprepared, but it's fine. It is what it is, man. This is who we are as people.
So I think that's it. That
Yeah.
I mean, celestial event, and we won't have another
Yeah.
one in the US until I think 2045.
Yep. 20 years.
Yep,
Some 20 some odd years. So sorry, I had to reach for my Mad Lib.
you're fine.
It was still on the shelf. Let me flip to where we ought to be. Grandma's will. Oh shit.
Correct.
This one's gonna be good. This one's gonna be good, folks. Let's get started with our fun portion here. Are you ready, Aminder?
Yes. And some of
Okay.
these I'll let you know when they're going to be long answers because you know I have to be
Okay.
extra sometimes. So
That's all right. That's okay.
okay.
Okay, dokie, ma'am. At first, I need from you a noun, please.
Kind of long. Dodge Challenger.
Ooh.
I don't know why it popped in my mind. I'm not even a car person.
I want one of those. Plural noun, please.
Flintstone vitamins.
I take those.
I used to. I don't. Do they still make those? I haven't
Yes,
seen
they
them.
sure do.
Hmm.
I have a big old thing of gummy ones from Sam's Club. Me and my childrens take them. Okay, number
42. The meaning of life.
42. Verb.
Canoodle.
I love it. I have not heard that word in a very long time.
One of those just popped in my
Adjective.
head. I'm like canoodle. You're a canoodling. Adjective. Sticky.
Ew. Another one.
Roasty toasty.
That's gonna be fun to say. Place, please.
This is a long one. I could have made it longer, but I shortened it for you. You're welcome. Up your butt and around the corner.
Oh boy.
I was gonna say and 3 doors down to the left, which is usually the full saying for me, but up your butt and around the corner.
Okay. Adjective.
Tragic. Can't tell if it's raining outside.
Adjective. It was getting cloudy here.
Yeah, it's been dark clouds like most of the evening. Ooey gooey.
Oh boy. Verb.
Kick. Because I gave up at some point.
That's perfect though. Noun.
Eclipse. Total eclipse of the heart.
All of these, yours are always better than mine. Part of the body.
Coccyx. Isn't that your tailbone? Like it
Yes.
came into my okay. Like that's
Sure
what I thought.
Noun.
Dragon.
Dragon.
Is this the year of the dragon?
Noun.
Cataclysm.
Another noun.
I did a lot of like rhymey-timey words like roasty toasty ooey gooey, and now nitty gritty.
That's a noun.
Yeah, like we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're getting to the thick of it. I looked it up. I was like, is
Into
nitty
the
gritty
thick
a
of
noun
it.
or adjective?
Into the thick of it.
Mhm.
What is that from? Peter Pan?
No, no. I thought it was no. That's Backyardigans. I'm like into the.
It is Backyardigans.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't it?
It is
Backyardigans?
Okay, verb.
Secrete.
Ew.
I knew you were gonna say it. Secrete.
Why I can't spell. That looks like seat. Secrete. There we go.
Secret
Another noun.
kind of long. Cool Ranch Dorito.
Oy, oy, oy.
I don't really like Doritos that much, but
Dorito.
I was hungry.
Plural noun.
Another longer one. Commemorative plates.
Verb ending in ing.
You know it's coming. Fucking.
Okay. Noun.
I will have to spell this for you. And I don't even know if I'll pronounce it correctly, but it's a word I learned the other day. Concupiscence. Concupiscence. It's CON CUP ISCENCE.
Okie dokie. What the fuck does it mean?
Means sensual lust. Like, I made the mistake. I was watching a video while I was at work, like, you know, as background noise, and the video that I was watching, he said this word, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And I looked it up, and I made the mistake of looking it up on my work computer. I'm like, and it says definition: lust in a sensual manner. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now that's on my search history.
Oh shit. Okay, adjective.
Damp.
Ew. Noun.
Hellscape. What this would have been if we had the rapture. Just didn't happen.
God. Truth. Okay. This one's gonna be good. I can already tell.
Focus on me. Thank you.
Is it trying to pretend you don't exist?
Yeah, it's trying to rapture me right now.
Oh boy. All right, here go Grandma's wills. Everybody ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem. Okay. Dear family, well, I'm dead. As a Dodge Challenger nail. Don't be sad, though. Don't be sad, although I suspect some of you are thinking, goody goody gum Flintstone vitamins at the thought of me 42 feet under. I, for one, am excited to canoodle through the sticky gates of heaven and see my dearly departed poodle, Miss Roasty Toastykins.
Canoodle poodle.
I love it. Okay. As for Grandpa, we all know he's rotting up your butt and around the corner. That dirty, tragic man. Now let's get down to the ooey gooey stuff. To my disappointing son, you need a good kick in the face, not my money. Therefore, I bequeath you my state of the eclipse gym equipment. Get off your coccyx and do something. That works. Also, you get my beach dragon in Boca.
I want a beach dragon.
I want a beach dragon too. To my insufferable daughter, I give you my convertible cataclysm. You are quite dull. Go on a cross nitty-gritty trip and secrete it up already. Ew. Fine. Have my diamond wedding Cool Ranch Dorito too, even though marriage isn't in the commemorative plates for you. To my butler and maids, thanks for fucking to like me because I paid you. You each get a set of sterling concupiscence flatware. I can't say that word. And to my beloved cat, Mr. Damp Pants, the love of my life, you get the rest of my multi-million hellscape estate. The end.
It's like the lady in the Aristocats. Like,
yeah. Leaving everything to her cats.
And sorry, like my eye just started like burning. There we go.
It's fine.
But yeah, like give everything to her cats, and so like the butler's like, no.
Why go up there? There we go. Okay. Good enough. Okay, so that's our Mad Lib. Aminder.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we
in our actual topic show.
Try to take over the world. Sorry. So basically the difference between like autism awareness versus autism acceptance, and like how seems to be shifting, because you said it used to be called autism awareness and now it's autism acceptance.
Yeah, at least I remember a time when it was like Autism Awareness Month or Wear Blue for Autism Awareness, and
Yeah.
like it's it has shifted. I've seen a lot of stuff this month, a lot of creators coming out about how they do not like, oh, it's not aware. We don't need awareness. We need acceptance. We don't like
Like,
about
people are
how
aware it
the
exists. Like, people are aware autism is a thing
right,
still.
right. So like I just kind of want to talk about like maybe why people are seeing that as a problem and how we feel about it. Um, and just sort of delve into that a little bit, talk about autism and all that good jazz. I'm probably gonna let you start. That was like a weird burp. I am battling the beginnings of another migraine and I can feel it because my brain is like not wanting to kick in and say words properly. I did take Tylenol, so like the pain is starting to subside, but like I'm in the migraine brain fog right now. So I'm going to let you start. You give your thoughts and I shall expound upon those
Okay.
thoughts.
Yeah. Like I said, I never really paid much attention to it being like autism awareness of any month. Like, when that came up on my feed, it's like I said, it might just be because I've been going more into like myself as being autistic that I just
Mhm.
paid attention to that. But it's also because I feel like social media has made it more of a thing to be aware of than before. And
Yeah.
of course, those comments of like, well, it seems like isn't everyone autistic based on just these like little things that you guys keep talking about, like these little symptoms and signs. It's like, it's not like everyone at some point will experience, like, same with ADHD, will experience a symptom or sign. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Of autism. It's just a matter of, will it, like, the severity and the consistency of it. Like, yes, everyone gets um has sensitive, it's like, can be sensitive to a sound or a smell or a touch, but the consistency of it, like, then that's what kind of makes it, that's like the difference between it. And then the whole um I don't mind the whole transferring it from awareness to acceptance, because, like I said, it's people are aware that autism exists, and so it's more of the whole, um like, just like, yeah, I know like, knowing a person's autistic, but then also like accepting that their like outburst, their little quirk, their little like like tick or whatever is because of their autism. Like, and accepting that and not getting
Yeah.
mad at them, not berating them, not whatever. So I think that's like the difference, in my opinion, is making it more like being more accommodating to people with autism and just understanding them more than just knowing that they exist. Like, well, I know autistic people exist. Okay, but are you willing to accept them? It's kind of like the whole, for me, I also thought of, like, when you brought up this topic, I also thought of the whole, like, oh, what's it called? Um, God, rainbow capitalism, like, for Pride Month. It's like all these companies put all these rainbows all over their stuff in June, but then in the back, they'll like, you know, make it aware that like, they're aware that, like, oh, the LGBTQ people exist, but we're also still going to donate to anti-LGBTQ things. We're only going to do this in June. We're, blah blah. We still won't show like a gay couple in our commercial or whatever. So to me, that's similar um to that. It's the whole, I'm aware that this is a thing. I'm just not willing to do anything about it, sort
Right.
of thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you on that. I think we're all at this point well aware of autism. I think the awareness portion has well
we,
been
we covered
fulfilled
it.
at this point.
We
We've
we
we've
we got
covered it.
stage one. Stage one is
Yeah,
over.
step 1 is been achieved.
Mhm.
You feel like acceptance is a better term. I don't need you to be aware of me, right? I need you to accept me as I am. Like, if you can see me, you're aware of me, right?
Mhm.
Like if you can
Right.
if you can see me or hear me, you're aware of me. So I don't want you to be aware of me. I want you to be accepting of me. I want you, like you said, all the little quirks and the different things about me and how I need to get through a day and how many breaks I might need to take doing something. And I want to be included and accepted in society and in the doctor's office and in the classroom and in the workplace, and I want to be understood. I think even we could go a step further with the acceptance to the understanding. Like, accept that we exist. Stop trying to fucking fix us, right? Like, we don't we
Like
don't
looking
need
for a cure or
yeah,
something.
stop looking for a cure. Stop donating to people who are trying to find cures or make us conform into this place we're not going to ever fit into, and start helping people to understand autism.
Mhm.
I think that's the direction that I'm ultimately looking for this shit to go into. Awareness is great, acceptance is great, but I do feel like the barrier to acceptance is understanding.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to accept someone or accept their behaviors when you don't understand why they're happening. Because a lot of autistic behavior, a lot of things that get us in that unacceptance area and the misunderstood are our behaviors and the way we process information and our facial expressions, things that are all socially acceptable ways of doing things, right, in society. A lot of times we struggle with. So it does get us into the misunderstood category quite a bit. So I feel like the barrier to acceptance is definitely understanding. And it's like, how do we get to that place? Like, how do we get to this base level understanding of what autism is and
It's
how it presents? Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's a very nuanced question. Do you know what I
it's
mean?
also it's also a matter of just understanding and accepting people who are different anyway, autistic or not,
Yeah. Yeah.
neurodivergent or not. It's like, and I'm not saying like, oh, we just need to accept and tolerate the worst of the worst or absolute
Right.
like the batshit insane type of behaviors, like serious. And like that's not what like that's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like the whole, oh well, um, Judy over here needs to sit in a quiet corner and with her headphones in while she's working. Like, and instead of saying like, well, she shouldn't be allowed to do that. Like, she's in her office. She's like, she's at work. She shouldn't be allowed to do it. It's like, why? It's like if that helps her get through her day, why the fuck do you care?
Right.
So it's the whole like understanding, and I think like my friend, like our friend, like Scott, he's like, not that he was ever, like, outright not accepting of things, it's more he's more like, now that I've, like, outright said, "I have texture issues with food," and he's every time, like, now when we cook something that he knows, like, we haven't made before, we haven't made in a while, he goes like, one of the times, like, we made some sort of soup, he goes, "How are you with spinach? Is spinach in soup fine?" I go, "Yeah, I like spinach in soup." He goes, "Okay." And he's like, "How about onions? How about tomatoes? How about this?" So he's
Mhm.
more, like, accepting, and like, I try not to, like, limit him and, like, Zach's and, like, their what they make, and so I'll just be like, "You can put it in, I'll just pick it out," sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, um, what's the group? Is it Autism Speaks? Are they like the
Yes.
rainbow puzzle piece? They're the bad ones.
Yeah. I
I will.
did a little bit of looking into that today.
Yeah, I will be
Uh,
honest. I've always heard that they're like not great. Like, don't donate to them. I don't really know why, and it's not sure. It's like because they're like a charity that either does the whole trying to find a cure for autism, or they don't handle funds well, or something.
yeah.
I never really looked into it.
Yeah. So I have this little graphic. I was going to send it to you and I forgot. So allow me to do that now. If you want to take a look at it, I have it
Mhm.
pulled up.
Okay, I see
Um,
it.
so I found this today. This is from a organization called autismadvocacy.org. This is the newest. Oh, this is not the newest information. Hold on. Let me get the other information. Because I wanted the newest stats and I went and looked for it. There we go. That's the newest information.
Okay.
All right.
It still. Oh, maybe.
It's the same graphic. It just has the newer stats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So this is, again, like I said, autisticadvocacy.org. This is their blog post, Consider the Facts. I can link this in the show notes if you guys want to see it. Granted, I couldn't find and didn't really spend a lot of time fact checking these percentages and this information. It does say this is straight from their 990 nonprofit tax exemption form. So if you guys want to do your research and go double check these facts, you're welcome to do so. This is just, one place that I found information about Autism Speaks. This is just what I'm going to share.
And there's tons of places that have spoken against this.
Yeah,
this is what
it's
we're
not
talking
just
about
this
today.
one. Yeah, this is just the one that I found that had like actual numbers, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but essentially what they're alleging is that that Autism Speaks is sort of like the Salvation Army of the autism world, where they are purporting to do all of this help and all of this advocacy work. And when you check out the company's numbers and figure out what they're actually spending their money on, according to this, 48% of it is for quote unquote awareness and lobbying.
Mm-hmm.
And only 1% of their spending goes to these family service grants that they're supposed to be known for. And so they're spending almost, it says Autism Speaks spends more than 50 times as much on fundraising as opposed to their family service grants.
And it says less than a third of 1% goes towards family service.
So that's shocking if that's the truth. Because when 48% of it's going to lobbying and then 29% is research, 15% is fundraising, and miscellaneous is 7%. Basically, that's part of their beef, is the way that they're spending it. And it says some salaries exceed over $570,000 a year for its executives.
And
So,
in the 4 years between, I'm just comparing the two graphics. So in the 2021, it said that they spent 20 times as much on fundraising.
mm-hmm.
But then also it says autism back in the 2021, it says Autism Speaks is only one autistic person out of a total of 28 individuals on its board of directors. And now they still have 2. So they got 1 more out of 28 board of directors. But it's like, so in 4 years, with all this, you have to know that they know about the backlash. Like, they have to be aware of all this stuff that's posted about them, all these articles. It's like, okay, so you did minimal effort and hired, I'm not saying their entire board of directors has to be autistic people, but 1 out of 28,
Right.
less than 4%.
Yeah.
So
It's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, it says that, only 2 autistic people out of a total of 28 individuals on the board.
Yeah.
So, and then they're 19 out of 28 of their board members represent major corporations, including the current and former CEOs and senior executives of AutoZone, Goldman Sachs, SoundCloud, White Castle, MasterCard, SC, Johnson & Johnson. So these are already highly wealthy people, which that's the country we live in. Everyone's entitled to their wealth. It's, whatever. But when we're talking about an organization that's supposed to be supporting and researching and advancing awareness and things like this for autism and helping autistic people and families, and your spending doesn't reflect that,
Mm-hmm.
nor does it seem that your values do, it's a little bit difficult to get behind something like that. And I think that's the biggest issue. Along with this, also says that their fundraising strategies promote fear, stigma, and prejudice against autistic people. They use damaging and offensive fundraising tactics, which rely on fear, stereotypes, and devaluing the lives of people on the spectrum. They advertise awareness campaigns and portray autistic adults and children as not as full human beings, but as burdens on society that must be eliminated as soon as possible. I feel like that's probably a very strong claim. That I don't know. I don't really pay much attention to them because I just don't. Everything I've ever heard has not been a lot of time digging into this shit. But it was something that I was curious about. Like, why does everybody hate Autism Speaks? I just want to know. And so I kind of found this and sort of went with it from there. There has also been some recent issue and I guess, recurring issue with the whole puzzle piece imagery with autism. I understand that. From I feel like with this stuff though, it's as everything else, it sort of comes and goes in waves. Awareness was needed at one point, right? The
Mm-hmm.
best way they had to describe autistic people was that that slogan was until all the pieces fit, right? They were trying to figure it out. So I understand why the puzzle piece came in, because they were trying to figure out what this is. There wasn't enough information, so it's a puzzle. We're trying to figure it out. I get it.
Right.
We've moved on. We've discovered that we're aware, right? We've gotten to that point. So we've seen a lot of people using the rainbow infinity symbol as a depiction for autism. And there was someone, I watched a video of someone's that said that was not accurate either, because it gives the impression that there are infinite possible ways to be autistic. And they had an issue with that because at some point, no, there's not. Like, there are, yes, we all present differently, but there are still defining characteristics that make somebody autistic. And if there's infinite possible ways to be autistic, that means everybody's autistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I can understand that from that perspective. She had recommended a fingerprint. Because everybody's autism is unique, but not everybody has autism. But
Right.
everybody has a fingerprint. So I don't know how I feel about that either.
Unless you're missing your hands, then you don't. So
unless you're missing your hands, then you don't. But like, most everybody has a fingerprint.
when I looked them up, it's like I guess I didn't pay attention when they went from like the rainbow puzzle piece to the blue puzzle piece.
Yeah. I guess people were upset about that at some point too. I understand that the symbolism is tricky at this point. I guess I don't particularly, maybe it makes me a bad autistic person, I don't know, but I don't particularly care either way which puzzle piece or infinity symbol or whatever. I feel like, in a way, the puzzle piece thing, I can understand dropping that off, but I just don't, it doesn't give me, I don't get riled up over that. I don't know, call me whatever you want, but it just doesn't
I don't
seem
either, because unless the logo is like a vaccine show, like going into a kid and the kid turns autistic after that, I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't like I'm just not one, like, I don't really pay attention. Like, people always find like this symbolic, like, I know the logos are symbols, but like they find like symbology or hidden meanings in logos, like the whole, well, the Starbucks logo is really this demon thing, like behemoth or whatever it's called. It's like, you have way too, I wish I had this much time on my hands to like go through
Right.
this
To
shit.
be researching something simply to get outraged over it. Like, it just,
Right.
I don't know. I feel like that could be a
Like,
whole other
it's like
topic in itself. But like,
you're getting mad at something you made up. So calm down.
right. So I feel like that part of it doesn't upset me as much.
It's more of
I
what they
think,
do. It's like if they're not gonna,
yeah.
like, and I understand, like, organizations have costs, like, it's hard to, like, have a, like, a nonprofit, they have to pay people, like, you can't it's hard to have a nonprofit with, like, 100% volunteers, 100 like, you have to have
Right.
some sort of like, overhead, some sort of cost. I understand, like, operating costs, whatever. I understand that, but when the majority, like, the vast majority of your stuff doesn't really go back to the people you're supposed to be helping,
Right.
like, it's like Goodwill, like, Goodwill will take, like, Salvation Army, they'll pay their CEOs a lot of money, but pay their workers like shit, and then they get all this stuff for free from people, but then turn around and, like, I haven't personally experienced this, but I've just heard people say, like, "I went to my Goodwill, there was a jacket that should be $5, like, because it's Goodwill, but they're charging almost the new price of the original jacket." Like, it would be like a jacket
Yeah.
with tags or something, a clothing with tags, and they'll charge almost the amount that's on the tag.
Yeah.
But then they will turn around, like I said, and pay their CEOs a lot, but not their workers, and I don't know, yeah, just the whole charity thing. I feel like charities should be more audited, I guess. Like, they should have a
Yeah.
certain percentage of what goes towards the community or the demographic or the people they're claiming to help. I feel like that should be more looked at, and I understand the whole, like, "Well, that's a government overreach." Well, okay, then but let's have no boundaries, no rules, no whatever, and they can just do fuck all they want. Like, they're already doing it with
Right.
the little rules we have. So
Right.
so that's my take on it.
Yeah. I feel like the main point I want to stress on this is like it would be nice if we could take this whole thing a step further and start working on a better understanding of autistic people. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about doing the show, because this shows we're showing up as autistic people, right?
Mhm.
We're talking about our personal experience, and I feel like every person who chooses to speak up and speak out and talk about what life is like for them only adds to the pool of understanding. And I think where even more understanding needs to come in is better training, better discussions in schools with educators, with doctors' offices, with first responders, people who have to deal with you, people in the workplace. There needs to be what I want to see these corporations who are claiming to help people do is figure out a way to get into the places where autistic people are, which is everywhere, right? But in the workplace, at the fucking grocery store, like there needs to be people who understand us out there. I'm just looking for more understanding. I want to make sure at some point that what we are doing in the world, you and I with the show, is leading to more understanding of what it's like to be autistic. That's my goal.
And
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 it
it's
would
also
be nice if we get more people on the page with that.
Yeah, because it's also like autistic person is not the little white boy in the corner rocking back and forth having screaming fits because
Right.
someone looked at him wrong. That's like it's us. It's just someone just living their life. It's someone like there's all sorts of shades on the spectrum. And I am also one that's like I know that something cannot be 100% accommodating. Like if you're an autistic person working in a factory, you can't just like sit at the assembly line and expect like you can't exactly expect to have a job, like not necessarily have a job, but like necessarily have that particular job completely 100% accommodate how you are. Like if you have
Right.
sensitivity to sound and everything, and all of a sudden the sound of the factory is grating on you, you can't just like really walk off and off your post and go do something. Like go sit
Right.
in the dark corner or whatever. Um, so like I understand like something like places can't be 100% accommodating and I'm not expecting them to be. But it's more of a people thing. So like my boss is pretty accepting of how I am. Like we've talked about it before. Um, so it's that sort of thing. It's just basically don't be a piece of shit. Just don't, like, if
Yeah.
someone's acting out of, like, what you consider out of sorts, maybe ask them why, or, like, be inviting enough to where they'll freely give the information to you. So, that's my take on it.
Yeah. And I'm sure we could have talked more about this, but since my internet's being an asshole, I suppose we ought to do the thing and cut to the Jeremy, because this is an extra
Julie, do the
long
thing.
Jeremy today. Yeah, Julie, do the thing. We need that as a thing too. We
Mhm.
need that as a video. Julie, do the
Mhm.
thing. Um, but anyway, um, I want to let you all go. This is gonna be a quick. Everything is linked in the show notes. If you need the things for the things, you want to find us wherever you can find us. You want to send us emails, all that good shit. All the podcasty things are in the show notes. I'll link this little article that we found too. And then if you want to go, you can go. I'm gonna hit the Jeremy, and we will see you next week if you're leaving us. If not, here go the Jeremy.
Hey,
Okay,
welcome back.
we're on the other
Mm,
side.
Do you want me to read since you're having hard time concentrating today?
I think I'll be okay to read. I just we're gonna figure it out. We'll see. If I get
Okay.
to where I can't, I will tag you in. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, but we're gonna get right into it because internet problems, and it's a long one. So let me move you over here so I can still see that, just in case we drop out.
Also, what are my animals?
Oh, your animals. You are an anonymous dragon and an anonymous lemur. What shall you like to be today?
I'll be the dragon.
Dragon! Yay!
Yay.
Okay, here we go, folks. Previously on the Chronicles of Jeremy. Vaughn, the Duke of Grey, revealed that Jeremy's childhood encounter with the king ultimately led to his death. The Duke ordered Jeremy to be executed at dawn, but before the guards could take Jeremy away, Velvet invoked the Right of Valor. This infuriated her brother, and he denied her request, only to be reminded by their mother, who had been watching this scene from afar, to intervene and remind her. Oh, no. What? I don't know what I was trying to say there. Only to be reminded by their mother, who had been watching the scene from afar. I don't know what I was trying to say. Only to be reminded by their mother, who had been watching the scene from afar, that this was the law of their land. That's what it's supposed to
Yeah.
be. That's what it's supposed to say. That this was the law of their land. What is the right of valor? Will Jeremy survive the night? Did Finnegan ever quit drooling? Find out on this week's episode of The Chronicles of Jeremy. Okay, here we go, folks. Mother, you can't be serious. This man is responsible for killing the king. Our father, your husband, Vaughn exclaimed, still enraged at the mere thought that anyone could be okay with this. I know who he is, and I know what you claim he has done. This does not change the law, Velvet's mother said sharply. Your father was a complicated man. His mother died in childbirth, and he was raised by his father, who was a feared and tyrannical king. He ruled with an iron fist. There was no room for mistakes and no questioning his authority, and he made a spectacle out of anyone who dared to defy him. Their mother walked towards a large throne carved of an ancient tree. Beautiful nature scenes were carved into it, and a royal purple cloth with beautiful golden embroidery lay on the seat. She placed her hand on the arm of the throne and bowed her head for a moment. She turned to look at her children and the fellowship. They had all followed her, listening intently to her sweet and soothing voice. Even Finnegan, with the attention span of a squirrel, was captivated by her. So, as any good firstborn son would, your father stayed ever obedient. His siblings would run off and play with the other children in the palace, but your father never left his father's side, soaking in every ounce of information he could get and watching every move. Your father took the throne at only 16 years old, after watching his father die of an unknown illness. Having no guidance and no other frame of reference, he tried to lead his people as his father did. Turns out you don't learn how to be a king by simply watching. So this, of course, did not go well for him, and within his first year, his kingdom was in turmoil. The king from the north got word of this and decided to seize this opportunity to take our land and declared war. But your father was stubborn and would not allow his kingdom to fall. He somehow rallied his fighting force and was able to find the best leaders among them to help him formulate a plan. The village Jeremy spoke of was indeed of strategic military importance. This was the last piece of land needed to properly defend the kingdom, and with the northern armies only days away, he knew he had to secure this land at all costs. Without hesitation, your father left for the village, accompanied by a small group of his soldiers. When he arrived, he met the village leader in their grand hall and ordered him to hand over the land to his forces to set up a defensive post. When the village leader refused, he became enraged and ordered the man again under penalty of treason, but again the man refused and stormed out of the hall. Desperate to save his kingdom on the verge of war, and in a blind rage, your father followed him, drew his sword, and struck down the village leader. He had no memory of this. He only remembers one of his men dragging him to his horse and with a searing pain in his leg. Most of his men seized the village, while another rode with him back to the palace to tend to his wounds. He would learn of his actions and how he received his wound from his closest advisor who witnessed the entire event. His physical wound was taking longer to heal than expected. The northern armies came, and your father fought valiantly alongside his men despite his injuries. After 2 grueling years, they drove back the northern forces, won the war, and your father gained the respect of his kingdom. His physical wounds eventually healed, but he was never the same again. Not only did recurring illness plague him, but so did the guilt of striking down an innocent man for defending his village, just as the king was attempting to defend his. He became a softer man, ruling fairly and with compassion. He became a husband and a father, and on the day Vaughn was born, he decreed the right of valor. This was his way of showing compassion to even the most heinous of criminals who were sentenced to death. If anyone believed the accused to be innocent, they could invoke the right of valor. Immediately upon invocation, the execution would be stayed, but it did not guarantee their freedom. 3 grueling trials await the one who invokes the right. A test of intellect, a test of strength, and a test of will. Fail, and the accused sentence stands. Succeed, and they will be set free, but they must leave the kingdom, never to return again. Velvet, no! I won't let you do this, Jeremy cried. It's already done, child, Velvet's mother interrupted. Once the right is invoked, there's no going back. Velvet will endure these trials in 3 days' time. Until then, I suggest you help her train. She will need all the help she can. She will need all the help she can if she hopes to win the. I made it all the way to the goddamn end sentence. Until then, I suggest you help her train. She will need all the help she can get if she hopes to survive this. To be continued.
Exposition dump. Brought to you by the Exposition Fairy, known as Velvet's mother.
So, yep, that's some backstory on their dad and the right of valor. In an attempt to make it not books long, I tried to condense it as much as possible. We will learn more backstory sprinkled here and there as we get to it. But we learned that this all happened when he was just a boy king. He was a angry boy king and made a very angry boy king stupid decision and killed Jeremy's daddy. We still don't know what eventually killed him other than, illness and all that good jazz just from fighting with a bum leg for 2 years. But it's not like he died immediately after this wound occurred. This is something that it affected him for the rest of his life, and eventually he died earlier than he should have because of the recurrent issues with the wound, right?
Right.
So, but Vaughn's got his panties in a twist because his daddy should still be alive, right? So,
and he's throwing a hissy fit over it.
And his mother is very kindly trying to remind him that your father was just like you at one time. And it didn't end well for him. Yeah, it didn't end well for him. He tried to correct his behavior, and now you're being a jerk. So stop it. So yeah, this
What's
that
was
was
like
mostly
generational
Velvet's
trauma,
mother.
like furthering the cycle.
Well, Velvet is gonna have to do this shit in 3 days' time. So we will find out what goes on over the next 3 days. During those 3 days, probably in our next episode. We'll find out what the tests or what the trials are. And then just keep on fleshing this out.
Sounds good.
And then whenever Freya is ready to make an entrance, we will write her in.
Yeah.
Ciao. Okay. That's all I got. My internet seems to be cooperating for right this minute, but God knows how long that will continue. So we are gonna get out of here.
So which of the phrase of the day if you made it this far?
I've been forgetting that shit. The right of valor.
Right of valor.
Yep. Right of valor.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it'll be. So if you listened all the way through the Jeremy, type the right of valor in the weekly post.
Or on the YouTube.
Or on the YouTube, or in the Discord, or wherever you'd like to put it. But
we're flexible.
We're flexible. We just like to know that you listen.
We're as flexible as autistic people can be.
Yes. So yeah. But I'm gonna finish eating my dinner and probably play some more Pal World.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been really enjoying that game.
Isn't that like open world Pokemon, but like crafting and survival aspects, like Minecraft and Pokemon combined, or something like that?
Yeah, kind of. I'm really enjoying it. Are you good?
Yeah, I just heard a weird noise.
Okay. Tell your sleep paralysis demon it's not night time yet.
I like how like I'm like warm red and like bright, and you're dark. Like red and green are complementary colors on the wheel. Yes. Yeah. And so you're dark, cool colors, green, and I'm red, warm, bright, which is like the opposite, because red's like one of my least favorite colors, and I like darkness.
I like darkness. You gotta turn your light off in your room. Like when you're recording.
It gets too dark. And also it doesn't help that I have the Google Doc open. Like if I turn this off, it's not as bright.
Yeah. Because I always keep everything's off in my room. Mm-hmm. And then I let this ring light be the light that shines on me, and then there's no competing lights.
I just don't like how I look with that. So
yeah, I know. You like to look more warm. I like to look wash me the fuck out. Go for it.
Vampire.
Make me look like a corpse. But anyway, we're gonna go now. Okay. Love everybody. Okay. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.